Hey guys, it's Todd from Like Minded Lunatics bringing you, it's another drink place where it's all we do around here. I mean, besides sitting around our bedrooms as preteens reading Mad Magazine, it's all we ever cared to do around here. Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Drink Play Swear, and welcome back to Like Minded Lunatics. No! Like Minded Lunatics, not just Drink, Play, Swear. No, it's not. It's also my buddy Mark Gifford doing the Friday night videos. And the LML crew is there with him every once in a while. Bang! Please check out the Friday night videos. They're the best thing on the channel. The best thing we have to offer. But if you haven't done so already, I need you to show us that it is content that you're appreciating, that you like. Bang! Please hit that subscribe button. We got a good one for you today. It's Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Well, what is it that we do here at Drink, Play, Swear? It's exactly what it sounds like. We play a game, usually a classic one, pair it with a beverage, and I tell you a story, true story, or just talk about stuff that I want to talk about. Glad you're here with us. I'm playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 today. I got a Jim Beam and Coke. Look at that, I started it without you. Well, I had some technology problems. I was setting up for a while, and that leads me to sip a little bit, okay? So here we are. You're behind. Get yourself something. Why don't you? Isn't that wonderful? Sega! It's like their single greatest quality is saying their own name. Todd right. My single greatest quality. Because it definitely ain't, like being smart or funny. Hey, Sonic 2 is great, man. Sonic 2 is the reason why a lot of people went out and bought a Sega Genesis. Isn't it? It's just a great game. Sonic 1 is really good, and, whoa. And they introduced us to this idea of blast processing, which was just trying to convince us to get rid of our Nintendos and get a Sega. And Sonic 1 was great, but Sonic 2 was special. You get a two-player element by introducing Tails, and then you get a couple of other features in this game that make it truly special. The soundtrack to Part 2 is truly special, but also there's this really great feature. What is the problem here on this? Really great feature, I'll show you eventually, that you can do as Sonic in Part 2 is speed yourself up to full speed instantly whenever you feel like it. Look at that. Get up there. What? I don't even remember what's up there. Let's try. Glad you're with us today. Welcome back to the channel. So, what do we want to get into in terms of the story today? Well, I want to talk about some of my favorite publications from when I was a kid, namely Mad Magazine and Cracked Magazine. Now, I know fellow like-minded lunatic Ricky was also just a lover of Mad Magazine, and I got a bunch of them that I was re-looking at the other day, and so I thought I would share some with you today. Now, you know the channel. I don't sit here and try to teach you history lessons, but I will mention some stuff if I think it's pertinent to the conversation, and pertinent to my experience regarding this stuff. So one of the reasons why I love Mad Magazine is that it came from William H. Gaines, the man who would continue his father's business at entertaining comics and make it the EC Comics that we all know, that created Tales from the Crypt, Haunt of Fear, all those wonderful horror comics. And of course, those horror comics would go on to be punished by censorship and terrible legislation, and would make a lot of comic book creators just walk away from comics. Here we go on a first boss already. Bang, I'm not as scared of Eggman. Let's go, bruh. You scared of Eggman? Don't be. He's just got gadgets. He's a fat, bald dude with gadgets. Not that there's anything wrong with being fat and bald. I'm half of those things. All right. And I'll be the other someday too. So, no hate. William H. Gaines would go on to create Mad Magazine, a satire comic magazine. And because they were a magazine, they didn't have to label themselves as a comic. Eggman, you smoked, son. I ain't afraid of you, I told you. There would be a comic magazine. They would also sell trade paperbacks. So then they would go on to get, you see Sonic looking at me? Cross. I'm going to make him do it again because I'm telling my story, bruh. Today ain't about you, is it, fellas? No, it's not. They would go on to do whatever they wanted and not have, the comic book code authority breathing down their necks because they weren't evaluated by them. So I got all these from when I was a kid. Here's a Mad trade paperback, The Self-Made Mad. Here's the greatest artist in Mad Comics history. Let me pause. Don Martin in his own little collection, The Three Ring Mad. But my favorite thing about Mad Magazine, absolute favorite, was this little comic strip, Spy versus Spy. And there were absolutely no words to Spy versus Spy. So what's wonderful is you can give this to a little kid and let them see mischief, the comic mischief, even if they don't know how to read yet. And it's two spies, the black spy versus the white spy, and they're just trying to kill each other. It's basically like Tom and Jerry or a Bugs Bunny cartoon, but without words, without communication, sounds, that is. And they were wonderful. And I loved those. But I also have to say that not just Mad Magazine, I had an allegiance to their lesser, which is Cracked Magazine. Now, Cracked Magazine, admittedly, was a knockoff. So I think Mad Magazine came. I didn't look this up ahead of time. I'm just pulling dates, so you can look it up on your own if you're curious. I think Mad Magazine came out in like 52 or so when the Comics Code Authority was formed, and then Cracked Magazine was something like 56, whatever, a few years later, and totally derivative, right? So like Mad Magazine had their mascot Alfred E. Newman, and between bits, between little political humor things or pop culture commentaries, you get Alfred E. Newman, and he's like, I don't know, kind of the mascot. He's running the joint. But see, in Cracked Magazine, you had Sylvester P. Smythe. And the thing I loved about Sylvester was he wasn't the boss. Like Alfred E. Newman, you sort of got the impression that he ran the joint. And look at this. Here's one of my favorite Cracked magazines. Sylvester P. Smythe was the janitor of the operation. And I feel a kinship to that. You know, it's like at Like Minded Lunatics, we don't have a staff. We do this ourselves. And so we sort of are our own janitors. And it's like, even if you feel like you run a thing or you're in charge of a thing, you also have to do like the sort of menial tasks. I thought he was a great mascot and a lot of fun. But the cool thing about Mad and Cracked, where it wasn't just political humor, because I'm a little kid, preteen, going into teenage years at this time, I'm only minorly interested in politics and in what presidents are doing, but they were also obsessed with pop culture. Like, look at this Freddy Krueger art. Isn't that fantastic? Like, look at them. I'll pull one more for you here. Look at them giving commentary to all the stuff I cared about when I was a kid. Here's Batman. Here's the Ghostbusters. Right, here's Indiana Jones. All these little parodies, and the artists were fantastic. You know, this was the 80s and 90s when they were trying to grab you with great art from a newsstand, because you're standing at the newsstand. If you're an adult, you might be getting a newspaper. If you're a kid, you're getting a comic book. But how else are you going to be turned on to grab a little something extra, you know? And I feel like that's what Mad Magazine and Cracked Magazine were for a lot of people. Is, oh, okay, well I got a few extra bucks, and I want to grab something extra. What might I grab? And it would be that. It would be one of those. You know, print media has killed both of those magazines. Print media started being extinct, has killed both of those. So they exist in a form, you know. Mad Magazine still does collected works, and they've got folks who will still, you know, if you go to like a CVS or a Walgreens, you might find a collected work newly republished. And Cracked Magazine, of course, has a website and a YouTube channel. that does new content. But those old days are over of just enticing people at the newsstand with great art, vicious political humor, and hilarious satires of pop culture. So, hey, thanks for joining me. You know, I was gonna play Spy vs. Spy on the NES today because that would be thematic in terms of the game going with the story, but that game is so frustrating that I threw the cartridge out the window. So I didn't play that today. I decided to play a game I like. Sonic 2, a great game. Cracked and Mad Magazine at their best, also great. Thanks for joining us today for another one. And hey guys, in between now and the next time I talk to you, I'm T Rizzy, son. See ya.